Hello there. Welcome. My name is Sean Woolley. I'm the Managing Director of Cloud9 Spain. Welcome to this very first inaugural podcast of the LPA, Leading Property Agents of Spain. Delighted to be hosting this first podcast. With me today on this esteemed panel, I have Mia Pearlman, Managing Director at Affinity Property Group. Welcome, Mia. I have Hugo Bagration, who is the Regional Director at Spain Sotheby's International Realty. And also, just to mix it up, we have a lawyer in our midst, which is Felipe Martínez from Martínez Echeverría, one of, if not the biggest law firm, I think, in the area. So, welcome along, guys. We've got a really good mixed group of people here to talk about the recent news and views on what's been happening in the Costa del Sol and Spanish real estate market. And as this is our first, we might as well just go straight in to talk about the hot potato, the big talking point, the news, the noise, which is our esteemed Prime Minister, Pedro Sánchez, who has been on his soapbox over the last couple of weeks talking about what he would like to do with non-EU speculative investors in this wonderful country. I'll just read out what has happened. This is actually a little note from Knight Frank, something that they prepared, so thank you to them. It says, on the 13th of January of this year, the Prime Minister, Pedro Sánchez, proposed a 100% property tax on non-EU buyers. The proposal was part of a 12-point plan to tackle housing affordability by building more public housing and increasing taxes on short-term holiday rentals. On the 19th of January, just 6 days later, the proposal shifted up a gear to an outright ban. The government will propose prohibiting non-EU foreigners from buying houses in our country, this is what he said, when neither they nor their families live here, and therefore they are speculating. That's what he said at a Socialist Party rally on Sunday. Felipe, I'm going to come to you first, because I'm hoping you're the voice of reason amidst all this madness. What's going on?
Good morning, Sean. I think this shocking announcement of our Prime Minister is, as you said, it is just a proposal. I think we should today give to citizens peace of mind and reassure them of our legal opinion in this matter. As I have just said, it is just a proposal, so it is not a law that is in force. And in our opinion, it's very unlikely that this law have ever seen the light. And it's very unlikely because the Socialist Party is in the power in minority. So having said that, this is a law that even if it is approved by Decreto Ley, would need later on to be reapproved in our parliament. And we really doubt that the Socialist Party has the support of the other parties that support them in the power to approve this law.
Yeah, because I think some of the other parties, even within his proposed coalition, have already come out and said, we're not backing this. So he's not got the support that you would imagine he needs to get anything like this through Parliament, does he?
We think he does not have the support.
Yeah.
But even having it, we have to say that this is a tax that is already assigned to our communities. Most of our communities are under the power of the Popular Party, which have already said that they will not take that in consideration.
Yeah.
But having said that, we have to take it even further. And we consider that this law, in the unlikely event that it is approved, will be against European law.
Okay.
We have to say that Article 63 of our European Treaty confirms that the freedom of movement of capital. And this will be clearly against this law. It is completely discrimination. We have some backgrounds in our law that has confirmed this situation. Like we can go back in our eyes to the inheritance tax. When this government approved inheritance tax bonus, this bonus was only applicable to local people. Later on, the European Court ruled it in the favor of also European citizens. And after that, even what we are talking about now, non-European citizens. So in our opinion, we really doubt that this law will ever see the light.
Why is he doing this? Why is he saying all these crazy things if it's so unlikely to happen? Is it just political posturing to get the votes of the people who are not happy about the housing crisis in some Spanish cities? Why is he doing it?
I think this is more a politician matter than the legal side that I have already spoken. If we get into the politician and we go through the news, we know our prime minister and the people around him have so many cases open in court on the news that he has to say, create.
Yeah, it's like a distraction from the problems that he has with other...
Certainly, it's 100%.
Okay, it's interesting because just to backtrack slightly, when he announced this 100% property tax, Mia, I know that you've been contacted by the UK press. I have as well. I don't know, Hugo, if you've been contacted by media outlets, but it was a great headline, wasn't it, for them?
Fantastic.
Because I think a lot of people thought, okay, hang on, if I'm going to be buying a property at 500,000 euros, does that mean I've got to pay another 500,000 euros in my taxes? And of course, that's almost impossible to implement anyway, and it's just crazy. What did you find? Was that the attitude of the people that you spoke to? Were they like a bit alarmist and...
To begin with, the press were jumping on the bandwagon because actually, especially in the UK, the press are a little bit anti-Spain. You know, if they see a little hurdle, they'll jump on it and they'll ride with it. However, over time, we've now had the Financial Times, Sunday Times, and some other editorial editors contacting us that want to put a positive spin on it and want to give the plus points of the situation. So although they've had their moment of shock, drama, you know, craziness, and they've sold a few more papers, now the reality has kicked in and now they really actually want the facts. And is this really going to stop people? I mean, most of the editors that we speak to already have a property in Spain, or they want to buy a property in Spain. So, I mean, they're the very ones that are creating these dramatic articles when, in fact, then they're saying, by the way, you know, is it really going to happen? Because then I've got another problem.
But it does make for great copy, doesn't it?
Oh,
you see the headlines and you think, oh my goodness, but...
Just going out into the street that day, you know, just going to my local cafe was just, it was just dramatic. What can I say? Have you seen the news? Have you heard the statement? You know, but ultimately, you know, at Affinity, we are a volume agency. We see lots of clients every month. You know, so we're like the weather vane of the market. We can pretty much predict what's going on. And let's face it, we've had every type of episode that had possibly come. You know, there was an ash cloud once upon a time that stopped all flights coming over. But,
I remember that.
Yeah, but it's just another cog in the wheel at the end of the day because Spain is always number one for the Europeans, especially for the Brits and some non-EUs. It's got so many tick boxes that ultimately, once you go through the fact of, okay, I've got golf, I've got 320 days of sun a year, I've got blue flag beaches, I've got, you know, accessibility all year round.
But I've been amazed by how much the news outlets are angling for that story. You know, I had interviews with like GB News, Sky News, people like that, and you could see them becoming deflated when they realised there wasn't actually a story there.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Because they come at it from the angle of, sure, when are they going to kick the Brits out? Well, they're not. Oh. You know, it's kind of like, and I worry because it's a really ignorant position that they're taking, and they are effectively manipulating the minds of millions of people.
They are, but I think people are smarter than that now. I really do. I mean, actually even being contacted by the Sunday Times, and when they said, we want to put a positive article out,
Interesting.
you think, okay, great, because actually your news, it doesn't stand for anything right now. Nobody knows the answer to any of this. We all have a statement that's been placed, but in effect, nobody can say on this table or anywhere in Spain at the moment, that's what it means.
Exactly. I think that a lot of the lawyers are saying that what he probably meant was that he'd like to double the tax, the purchase tax on a property, which wouldn't be great. But obviously we're talking about, you know, a figure maybe going from 7% to 14%, as is the case in Andalucía. But he has massive problems getting that legally approved, doesn't he? Because the autonomous regions, in our case it will be Andalucía, is the opposition party. There's no way they're going to agree to that.
There is no way they are going to agree with that. They have already stated they are not going to support this law. And even in the unlikely event that is approved, we consider that would be declared void by the European Court, as it has happened before with other laws that this government has already done before.
Hugo, what's your take on it? Has it affected you mentally?
Mentally, for sure. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's do some therapy. Come on.
No, it's a very risky move from the leadership of the country. Reality is, and in my eyes, it's a way to alleviate the enormous pressure the administration is under by minority groups lobbying to find an immediate solution to the housing crisis in Spain, the affordable housing problem that we have. It's no secret to anyone. It's at the top of the agenda of the Spanish government, but the measures we're unfortunately discussing here this morning are hard to believe, and it's the audacity behind the advisory team behind the leadership of the country is difficult to understand, and it has certainly created a stir. It's certainly creating a slight uncertainty as to where we're heading. But as you all correctly mentioned, and as we all know, Marbella is resilient. It will not affect the future of our business. And we are eager to see where it all ends up, because it's probably going to backfire tremendously to the current government.
I just think we could have maybe just done without it. But I think that certainly our business, we haven't been affected by it. In fact, if anything, our lead flow has gone up. I think there's an argument to say that if you're thinking about buying in Spain, do it now. Because if, and it's a massive if any of this is going to happen further down the line, it's going to be a long way down the line. We're talking many months, if not years, before anything like this can get through this parliament. So to protect yourself, the thing to do is to buy now, if that's what you're thinking of doing. I mean, people might say, well, you would say that, but actually it's a way of avoiding any stuff in the future, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there's a few little loopholes that a lot of the lawyers have come out with anyway. So even in the remote possibility that this got through Parliament, there's
always a way.
around.
Yeah.
There's always a way.
Yeah.
But ultimately, whilst sun is still shining, this place is a great bet, a great place to buy, a great investment. And you are talking about taking out the non-EUs, and yeah, the Brits are a main point of that. But when you look at the figures, that was only 5% of the market last year. So, okay, yes, and Britain are great at media. They are kings of the media. However, if you look at statistics and you work out the 5% of people that you may lose on the off chance that this may go through, that's not really going to affect any resale value of any
So
property.
why is he bothering? Is it a general kind of era we're going into now in global politics where everyone is becoming more isolationist and nationalist, and we're all trying to protect our own? Is it xenophobic? Why, if it's such a small proportion of the market, why is he proposing to do it?
He's trying to prove a point, domestically speaking, and to show that he is willing to go the extra mile when it comes to alleviating what I mentioned earlier in terms of the pressure for the affordable housing market. But it's unrealistic, and the measures proposed, especially the second one on, I believe it was Sunday morning, where he's considering banning as a whole the accessibility to non-EU members to acquire property in Spain is ludicrous.
That's ultimately, now he said it, that's ultimately seems to be what he wants. So that's quite a big step to take and quite a wide-ranging thought, isn't it? It's to basically say, anyone who's non-EU, you can come and live here if you get the right visa, but we're not having you as holiday homeowners. That's what he's basically saying. I mean, that's, wow.
Well, very unwelcoming.
Very unwelcoming. And that's, I said to a news outlet the other day, Spain's got to be careful what it wishes for, because they are leaders in tourism. It's their number one export. And if they're going to start creating policies like this that are obviously unwelcoming, then surely they're just going to cause themselves a massive problem, because people can look elsewhere.
We have to be very careful. We have to be very careful, because opposite to this proposal, when you compare this percentage of people investing in Spain, what significant growth has in our economy, makes no sense to apply this.
Absolutely. Just to close on this, though, so the upshot is, it's not law.
It's not law.
It's very unlikely to become law. If it does, it's going to take a long time to, in any format, people that will possibly be affected by this way down the line are non-EU buyers who are looking to not reside here. So again, a very small proportion of the market. So anyone from the EU, nothing's likely to change at all. I don't think it can change legally. And anybody from non-EU countries who are looking to buy a property in Spain to live in with their family, they'll be more than welcome. At the moment, there's just talk about maybe stopping the more speculative type of non-EU buyer. But at the moment, nothing has changed, nothing is law, and you're more than welcome to come and purchase in Spain. Is that about right?
Yep.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay.
Totally right.
Let's talk about more positive things. We started the year. It's another year in paradise. How are we all feeling about the year ahead? Hugo, you've just taken on a new role with a big name. So what's your take on it all? Are you looking forward to the year? Do you think there's opportunities out there?
Absolutely. We started last year, 2024, a bit excited about what was going to happen. It was a roll of the dice, let's say, and even more so at the beginning of 2025. But once again, Costa del Sol, especially Marbella, is proven once again that it's extremely resilient to external factors, especially geopolitical ones. We're seeing the unfortunate events in the Middle East and Eastern Europe, which are, believe it or not, actually benefiting our market to a certain extent. And it is a very exciting moment for the market, both for the residential and investment. And we are very optimistic. Also, we need to be realistic. It's a very competitive environment, especially the high end. There are many agents, new ones like us, coming into the market for a not so big piece of the pie. Our market is not as big as people think, especially the prime segment. And it will take more hard work, more professionalism, and the ability to adapt to a more sophisticated demographic in terms of buyers, and also managing, in some cases, very unrealistic expectations from owners and from sellers. So it would be a tricky year, but once again, it will prove everyone that Marbella is a safe investment.
Thank you. Mia, what would you like to add to that? What's your feelings about the year ahead? Positive?
I'm very positive about the year ahead. I don't think it's going to be easy because it's
never easy.
It's never easy. However, there's other challenges that come with owning a property company in Spain. And
That's a whole other podcast.
that's a whole another one. I'll come for that one. However, that news, it came out. It's kind of, in English we say it's tomorrow's fish and chip paper. And the leads are coming in, the clients are coming out, they're happy, they're joyous when they're on tour. Joyous, yeah. A special tea. And they're very positive. People want their spot in the sun. People want their haven, and ultimately we're only here for a short amount of time on this earth. So it's now or never. And I see a lot more of that it's now or never mentality within our clients. Sometimes they're not as happy because the market has moved incredibly fast and maybe they don't get as much as they expect they're going to get for their money. But to be honest, I think back in 5 years ago, I had that situation, So that's just human nature, that you want what you want, but ultimately you need to make compromises. So I see it's a positive year ahead, a difficult year ahead. Let's face it, it's saturated with agents.
Well, I was going to say, is the difficulty likely to be because of the competition? There's so many of us.
Yeah, I'd say so. My day to day, it's firefighting actually agents. It's not the client. The client is protected from all of that. But if they knew what was going on behind the scenes, sometimes and that's another podcast.
Yeah, and that's of course one of the reasons why the LPA is now moving forward so assertively with their membership campaign.
Yeah.
So trying to get the right agents on board. I mean, what benefits do you think the LPA has in terms of keeping the industry clean and do you think it plays a part in that?
Absolutely. We're at the forefront of getting regulation. I mean, that's our main objective in the LPA. You know, for us, of course, we want a nice code of ethics, a working environment that we can all adhere to and we all understand and we all sign up to at the end of the day. You know, and there's 70 plus members at the moment, but they are 70 carefully vetted members.
Yeah.
You know, that has been a process. It's taken 4 years. So now we have our base of members. We want to grow that, but ultimately we're heading towards regulation, which has already happened in the Balearics, Valencia, northern Spain.
And that's got to be a good thing, yeah?
Bring it on.
What do you think of it?
I couldn't agree more. I mean, we all know the Marbella real estate market is the wild, wild west, right? It is what it is. It's very difficult to regulate it, but we need to start somewhere. And I'm not saying most of the agents are terrible, because they're not. There's some great professionals within our industry, and we all make a living out of this. But we need to work jointly and as a team, as a group, to make sure our industry is sustainable in the long run, and that clients, both buyers and sellers, can trust the figure of the real estate agent in Marbella, which currently is also a topic for another podcast.
Absolutely. Plenty of podcasts to come on the way. Felipe, you're sort of one step removed because you're not an agent, but you are somebody who deals with agents, and you are someone who probably has a really good oversight of the market. How do you feel about the year ahead? Have you already noticed any differences?
I'm very excited about 2025.
Lawyers don't get excited.
Very. We as a law firm, we are
excited.
always excited about
Stop tickling.
growing. As is our show, we always try to do a little bit better than the year before. So we are very excited. I think it is happening since COVID and the situation in the world with the war in Ukraine, Middle East. It is what Mia says. We have seen that it is now or never, and you see it on the market. And as you said, we are lawyers. We are not agents, but we see that each property that is on the market for a fair price is sold. So I could say immediately. You speak with developers, and they are releasing properties slowly because they are selling them so fast that they don't have the capacity. Yeah. We have seen new markets. It is true that this is a coast that we were just used to the British market. We continue with the British market, but this situation in the world has created new markets, and we have seen a great growth in the east of Europe with new countries that have decided to come to Spain for living, for investing, Estonian, Lithuanian, Polish clients, Czech clients, Hungarian, and this has created a new market.
I mean, we've been here for 24 years, something like that, and what we've noticed, certainly since COVID, it's become a truly international market. It's become a global destination. It's become the California of Europe, which of course resonates very strongly with our friends across the pond. But I think what's happened since COVID as well, and since the financial crash and all those horrible things, people now want a lifestyle. They want, if they can work from home, or if they can maybe commute a little bit and they can base themselves or their family and their kids in a beautiful place like Marbella, then why not? I go back to the UK and it's getting worse. It's grim. And I was driving around yesterday with my partner, and we were just almost pinching ourselves because it was a beautiful day, middle of January, and you're kind of thinking, wow, this is great. And I'm passionate about wanting more people to experience that.
I agree. Yeah.
And so that's why we get excited when we have clients, even 20 years after coming here.
I still drive to work and slow down to look at the mountain.
Yeah.
It just never gets boring.
Yeah.
And there is a magic in the air in this town, and you can't experience it unless you're here and you live it and you breathe it and you feel it. It's very rare that people buy here and a few years down the line sell and leave. They buy and they stay.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to sum up then, guys, so we think the year ahead is positive. But hard work.
Yeah.
You're very excited.
Very excited. I'm a very excited lawyer.
Ugo, are you as excited as Felipe? Or you've got a whole new business to set up here. You're going to be shattered.
Not as excited. Yes, I am indeed excited.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be positive. I think there's always new opportunities on the horizon, and you've got to kind of shift your focus sometimes to take advantage of those. This market moves, doesn't it?
It moves fast. Yeah. Do you know, every disaster creates a boom. It's just bizarre.
I know. But, they always say, don't they, as long as the sun continues to shine in this place, then it's a pretty resilient market and a wonderful, wonderful place to be. Listen, thank you all for coming along today and taking part in our very first LPA podcast. Hopefully some of it makes the airwaves. But thank you for your contributions. We'll look forward to doing it again very soon. From the guys and myself, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.